Hey folks, according to research, about 25% of adults identify as chronic procrastinators, and more than 90% of adults procrastinate to some level in their daily lives. Now, whether you're a chronic procrastinator or an occasional one, if you watch this video till the end, you'll be well equipped with the knowledge and tools to beat procrastination once and for all. Ready? Alright, so hit like and press that subscribe button without procrastinating even for a second, and let's get into it by looking at what procrastination is and then at my top 10 ways to beat it and stay productive. Now, you might be surprised to know that many highly talented people fail to live up to their potential simply because of procrastination. Procrastinating is basically the behavior of not doing things and putting them off until they become absolutely necessary to do. If you're a procrastinator, you'll never be able to take charge of your life and do the things that you know you can do to become highly successful. If you look at any high achiever in just about any field, you'll find that they minimize procrastination as much as possible. Be it billionaires like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or Bill Gates, or sports stars like Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, or Roger Federer. Procrastination is a word unknown to the super successful, and perhaps it's also one of the biggest differentiators between successful people and the mediocre folks. One of the biggest ideas that's widely accepted by scientists, researchers, philosophers, artists, businessmen, and highly successful people from all walks of life is that the harder you work, the luckier you get. The more you work, the higher your chances of getting better at whatever you do will be, and the better will be your chances of getting a lucky break, and the more likely you are to achieve success. Now, the problem is that most people will dream big, but they'll procrastinate and won't execute to make their dreams a reality. And in many cases, they procrastinate their lives away. On the other hand, the doers do all kinds of crazy things. People will even make fun of them. And every now and then, something works out for them that takes them to the next level. So without any further ado, let me give you my 10 practical things that you can start doing from today to overcome procrastination once and for all and make you successful. Now, one of the biggest reasons why people procrastinate is that they have a habit of overthinking everything. They'll make a huge deal out of what they're trying to get done. For example, if there's a task that needs doing, they might say how boring it is, how painful it is, or how difficult it is. This habit of whining about your job or the task at hand develops a self-defeating mindset that prohibits you from doing anything at all unless it becomes absolutely inevitable. The problem is that you can convince yourself that the task or project is too big or too hard, and then you just put it off. Now, I'm guilty of this sometimes too. Sometimes I look at key things in my business and think, man, I just don't want to get down and do that, as it seems like it's a lot of effort. Or back in medical school, I'd put off exam revision of a hard topic like neurology as I thought it was just pretty boring. The way I dealt with this was to switch my mindset up to tackle hard things head on and to remember that most things are easy if you break them down into smaller chunks. I'll sometimes remind myself that if someone else has done the hard thing I'm trying to do, then so can I. This removes any excuses and puts leverage on myself to get down and do it. Not having clarity is another major reason for procrastination. Most people live in a wishy-washy world where they're dabbling with the idea of actually doing something. They want to do a lot of things, but they're not sure how to go about it. They just know they want to do all those things at once. Don't be like them. Get rid of all that brain fog and be 100% clear as to what you want to do at any particular time. It's better to focus on one thing at a time than on a huge to-do list of unordered tasks. One of the best ways to cut through the clutter and gain 100% clarity is to keep a journal and write down exactly what you want to do in a particular month, week, or day. Prioritize based on the impact doing that thing will have on your life, and then relentlessly pursue it rather than trying to do too much. Now, I've been guilty of this one too. Trying to do too much in business or chase too many ideas or opportunities, and actually focusing down on one clear objective provides focus and also removes any anxiety relating to FOMO as you're committing to that one thing. The Pareto principle states that roughly 80% of output comes from 20% of our input. So only 20% of the work that we do will lead to any significant results. I'll try and focus and prioritize what I'm doing on that 20% so that I'm not doing work for the sake of work, and this keeps me 100% clear on what I'm doing at any time. As Richard Koch, the author of the 80-20 principle, said, there's no rush. If we think intelligently about what we can achieve with our time, we can be relaxed, even lazy. In fact, being lazy, having plenty of time to think, may actually be a precondition for achieving a great deal. So think about what you want to do, cut out unnecessary work, and then relentlessly execute on that 20% that gives you the most benefits. The idea that we can always do a project or a task later allows us to be lazy and not do anything in the present moment. Instead of giving yourself unlimited time for a project or task, give yourself deadlines. Even better, give yourself false deadlines. Have you ever thought how long students would take to complete a class or get a grade in school if they were not forced to sit exams after a year? Many students would simply procrastinate and take 2, 3, 4, and in some cases even several years to sit exams if it was up to them alone, as they might not feel ready or confident when the time came. However, just the pressure and deadlines of exams forces you to study and get through the grades in a timely manner. Most people are able to do things once they really need to. So a great way of ending procrastination is to always have reasonable deadlines for yourself. Now, don't be harsh on yourself or put overly optimistic deadlines down. This can actually backfire. Just keep reasonable deadlines to keep yourself on your toes. And make sure that you meet every single deadline that you set for yourself, and this will help to build confidence and give you that dopamine hit when you succeed in hitting your false deadlines. Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time allotted for its completion. It was outlined by Cyril Northcote Parkinson as part of the first sentence of an essay published in The Economist in 1955. And he was absolutely right. Even the world's richest and probably most productive man, Elon Musk, has alluded to it when he tweeted that if you have 30 days to clean your home, it will take 30 days. But if you give yourself 3 hours, it will take 3 hours. The same applies to your goals and ambitions and plans. So if you have a project from work or your school, or even a personal project, and you think there's more time allotted to the project than it logically needs to be completed in, then set your own deadline and complete it faster. Done is better than perfect. Let me repeat that one. Done is better than perfect. I was super guilty of this as a medical student, and many people take forever to do one task simply because they try their best to make it perfect in every possible way. Perfectionism can be a huge demotivating factor, as no one can ever be perfect. Your approach should be to simply do a task to the best of your ability in a specified amount of time, and then move on to the next task. This will not only allow you to do things quickly, it will also help you to stay motivated and will allow you to improve and learn from every single task or project that you do. Whatever you're doing, whether learning an instrument, writing, doing surgery, or uploading to social media, quantity and consistency is way more important than quality in the early stages. Let me explain. You get better through practice, and when you start out at anything, you will suck. So embrace the suck and practice as much as possible. Your work in whatever you're doing will naturally improve with time as you do, reflect, improve, and repeat. This will then naturally lead to higher quality of work, and you'll move towards mastery and quality and consistency over quantity and consistency. In James Clear's Atomic Habits, he uses a study conducted by Professor Jerry Ullsman from the University of Florida to illustrate this point. Prof. Ullsman divided his photography students into two groups. He asked one group to take as many photos as they could, and he asked the second group to take just one, but it should be the best that they could possibly take. At the end of the term, all the best photos were taken by the group that focused on quantity. This is simply because they had more practice and they'd become better with every single photo that they took. So instead of procrastinating and thinking of ways to produce the best work possible, just produce the work. Improvement will come along the way. If you look back at your life, chances are that you'll be able to identify certain periods where you were absolutely on a roll and you were able to do a lot of work and were able to achieve a lot of things. You were doing well at multiple things and you seemed to have all the energy and grit to just keep doing what you needed to do. Similarly, chances are that you'll also be able to identify certain periods in your life where you slacked a lot, you were extremely unproductive, and you just couldn't get anything done at all. And this is the case with most people. We're greatly affected by momentum, both positively and negatively. If you procrastinate on one thing, let's say your work, chances are that you'll also procrastinate on exercise as well. And it just carries on to all other aspects of your life. So your focus should be firstly not to procrastinate on anything, and secondly, once you have developed momentum of doing things, don't let that momentum slide. Doing one thing will give you the motivation and momentum to do another, and then that will give you motivation and momentum to do the next thing. Just don't break that momentum cycle and keep going. Breaking a long project into smaller actionable steps, each with a specific timeline, is one of my favorite ways to beat procrastination. Many people have used it to achieve great things. You can use things like the Pomodoro technique to split your work into smaller chunks. For example, you can break 10 hours of work down into 60 blocks of 10 minutes each. This will allow you to work with hyper-focus for 10 minutes at a time and then relax for a few minutes before going again. Chunking up projects that seem overwhelming helps us to quickly get wins and build momentum to do even more. If I know I need to write a 2,000 word essay, I'll naturally break this down into an intro, intro, several subheadings, and a conclusion. I'll break down the word count by section and then set myself time limits to get that word count done. Now, if I'm honest with you, procrastination has become even easier during the past 10 to 20 years, with things like social media feeds designed to keep your brain constantly occupied with instant gratification and distractions, and cell phones, smartwatches, and computers continuously bugging you with unnecessary notifications. It's really easy to lose focus. So how do we deal with this problem? Well, it sounds easy, but what you need to do is just completely remove all those distractions from your environment and go into full focus mode. Make your work or study room such that it allows for maximum productivity and hyper focus. During your scheduled block of time for working on a particular task, close your email, switch off social media, and turn off your phone, or at least set it on silent. Research shows that even if your phone is in your pocket or in the same room as you, the temptation is there to become distracted, so hide it away in another room and lock yourself down to get that work done. Small things such as cleaning your room, doing laundry, checking emails, and making a call or two should be taken care of immediately. If you allow small tasks to gather over time, they'll keep bugging you, and you'll soon find yourself under stress with plenty of these small tasks waiting to be taken care of. One of the best mindsets and approaches to not allow procrastination to sneak into your routine is to take care of any task that takes less than 5 minutes immediately. So if you briefly need to reply to an email, just do it immediately. If you need to clean your room, get to it immediately. This will not only keep you stress-free, but it will also help to build momentum to take care of the more important tasks. Now, last but not least, it's very important to know why you're actually doing something. Many people are focused on other people and they want to do what others are doing without actually understanding why they're doing it at all. You need to have your own reasons for doing things. Find your passion, find what's important for you, and then do things that you're passionate about. Do things that will help you to achieve your goals and your ambitions in life. If you have a strong enough reason to do something, you will get it done. However, if you're just doing it because someone else is doing it, or because someone told you to do it, and it does not align with your belief system or your goals and ambitions, chances are that you will naturally procrastinate on actually getting it done. Things that you're passionate about will hold leverage over you. For example, I was passionate about starting a business that helped medical students pass exams, and my drive for this helped me to focus on working on it after night shifts when I was tired and around my day job when I was also studying for exams. Because I was so passionate about the business, it was actually really fun. If something is aligned to your why and your passions, it won't actually seem like work, and it will be much easier to get into a flow state and avoid distractions, as what you're working on is the most fun and exciting thing that you could be doing at that moment. Now, as a quick bonus tip, have you ever put down an exciting book just as the big mystery was about to be solved? Well, the Zeigarnik effect is a psychology term for the tendency for our brains to think about a goal that was started but left unfinished. The automatic mechanism alerts our conscious mind, which may be preoccupied with new tasks, that a previous activity was left unfinished. If you begin working towards a goal and fail to attain it, ideas about the objective will continue to circulate in your mind while you're doing other things, as if to urge you to get back on track to complete that task. If I know I've got work to do the following day, I'll hack this by getting ahead of myself and deliberately starting that work the night before, leaving out my books and computer on my desk for the following morning. This means that when I get up, my brain is obsessed with continuing on with the unfinished task, and this helps to fight off any procrastination. Okay, that brings us to the end of this video. Which one of these techniques do you plan on adopting to get rid of procrastination? Let me know in the comments down below. I really hope you enjoyed this video and it helps you to kick procrastination to the curb. Do make sure you hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and I'll catch you all again in the next one.